Hello, hello, hello. It's the RocksAlot here, and tonight it's going to be an exciting evening. I really believe we will probably hit 1,000 subscribers today, which is quite the feat. Not one I really expected to do this year, to tell you the truth. So, yeah, welcome in. Let's see what we've got going on here. Got that. Some stuff. So, yeah, just going to chat for a little while. Maybe go over some of the things that got me here. This is not the journey I expected to be on, but we're going to do a few pieces tonight and see how we go. Welcome in. Thank you for being here, and let's get a few more people in, and we'll go over what we're going to do for the day, which I'm not really sure. Thank goodness it's the end of the week. Got Thanksgiving tomorrow, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome in. If somebody wouldn't mind putting in the chat hello, that would be great, just so I know it's working. And then we'll start getting into what we're going to take on today. Hey everybody. Welcome in. Happy Thanksgiving. Going live a day before I normally would go live. I'd normally go live on a Thursday. And not sure how the schedule's going to go tomorrow with family and friends and eating and all that kind of stuff. So thought I'd come on tonight. And I think I am 8 subscribers away from being 1,000, which is just, it's phenomenal and a little astounding to me. Certainly didn't think this channel was going to be quite that far this year. So I thank you all. And yeah, we're going to do a little cutting today. So hi everybody, welcome in. I gotta get my other phone going because I think it's quite likely that we're going to hit 1,000 subscribers. Hi, Tanea. Hey, Amon, welcome in. Yeah, we're looking for 1,000. So I don't know. I was down by 8, and once we hit that 1,000, it'll be quite the feat. Well, I appreciate that. It says King, so there's some King Mun, which we started last week. And yeah, so I started this channel. I joined YouTube back in like 2012, but I never put up any content until really this time last year. And by the end of last year, I had 87 subscribers. And as of this morning or this afternoon, I was up to, I think, 992. So I have beat any of the goals that I'd set at the beginning of the year for myself. I was hoping to get 3 times the 87. So what is that, like 221-ish, something like that? Maybe that's far off. But that's really what I was expecting to get. And everybody's been so supportive. And the community is fantastic. The rock community, the lapidary community. I have a lot of support from the resellers and jewelry community. And I don't know, everybody's just been fantastic, and I haven't really had any negatives coming. So I appreciate that, Iman. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. But I was just out. So these are the ones we did when was it? Sunday. We had quite the session on Sunday. We went on for a while, and so these were some of the ones we did last week's session. So the lemon chrysoprase, that's the block from Sam, especially cabs and block. I love that stuff. This was just a little agate that we did that Freckle Cat's going to end up doing some wire wrapping on. You know, that really cool little bird in there. This is one of my favorite materials. This is Nila Turquoise. And this is actually Stony Canyon Jasper. Hey, Funny, how you doing? So let me get my other phone real quick because I want to see how close we are. Miss Freckle Cat is doing the corn casserole and that kind of stuff. Getting ready for tomorrow. Let's see if I can pick this up on this phone. I'm not sure I can. Let's see. So yeah, I wanted to thank everybody. Hi everybody, welcome in. And once I hit that 1,000, hi Jellybean. I'm going to have some sort of reward or giveaway, whatever you want to call it. Haven't decided what and haven't decided how to do it, other than I'm going to at least reward the subscribers that I know about, and then I'm going to try and reward the subscribers that don't necessarily show their notification, and then I'm going to do a giveaway for everybody that's watching, probably in one of the upcoming lives that we do. Yeah, I'm so close. Let me look at this. Excuse me while I try and pull this up on the other phone here. There I am. And I'm at $9.99. So excuse me. Reward the subscribe. Wow, that's listening to myself on another channel. I hadn't done that before. So let's just get a quick picture of that, because that says 999. Well, this one says 999. I don't know what it says on your guys' end, but anyway, this is fantastic. So I wanted to say thank you to you all. Anybody that's in here, thank you. The ones that aren't in here, thank you. And hopefully I'll put this out on a replay. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you so much to all my rock subscribers on YouTube. Your support and the wonderful comments you leave on my videos mean the world to me. I'm thrilled to continue sharing my passion for lapidary, rocks, jewelry, and a little bit of humor with you all. Stay tuned for some exciting content and adventures in the world of rocks. And I put that down in my description, and I'm going to go out and make a post on this too, because this is just, it's amazing to me. I'm happy that anybody comes to share, to visit, to watch, and I'm really just thrilled. And to be doing it right at Thanksgiving it just means even more to me, so thank you. And let's do some stuff here, because I'm not just here to thank everybody, I'm here to show you guys some of the stuff I do. So I was actually out and about at a thrift store today, and while there I eyed a shell, or at least the outside of the shell, and it's kind of how I used to find some of the rocks, because this isn't an area for rock hounding. So I do find a lot of my material, other than online, I find a lot of my material at estate sales and also at thrift stores. So this shell happened to be filled with like the oyster shells, but it also had in there just a piece of sea glass, which I'm gonna cut this. So we're gonna cut that, but that sea glass was in there. It only cost me $1.99. There was 6 sand dollars in there, so really I got $4 extra. So I got 4 sand dollars for $1.99, and then this beautiful abalone shell. And I'm sure some of you have seen, I'm sure you've seen some shells out there before, and you've probably seen it in some of the jewelry that you wear, but this is where they pull the shell for your abalone. A lot of Mexican and South American jewelry, and it also gets used in a lot of native jewelry as well. So it's pretty cool stuff. All right, we just hit 1,000. Fantastic. Let me get my screenshot real quick and we'll continue. So let's just do a quick update. Come on. It's thinking. And there it is. Wow, look at that. It says 1,000. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. Thank you. Let me go get a quick picture of that for my history, and then we're going to move on. All right. Well, welcome in, everybody. Oh, there's my lag on there. That's funny to listen to myself lagging. So I wanted to bring on this glass. So if there are any beginners out there, I would suggest, and you don't have to do it this way, this is a decent material to practice on. It usually won't splinter or chip to where it gets really sharp if you're using a machine. You can shape it so you get the hardness of glass, which isn't crazy hard. But you can practice with something like this. So a piece of beach glass, even a commercial piece of glass that's been tumbled, slag glass works really well. And I thought we'd try this just to see on the wheels how easy this is to do. And thank you, Walt. Yeah, XRP. You can invest in that. There's a lot of different things to invest in. So XRPs, if nobody knows on here, it's like Bitcoin. Which we are going digital. But that's for different parts of my channel. So today, this guy, by the way, we did a short with him, and he's over 3,000, and I think that's my highest short that we've had. And so we're going to finish him off with a polish. This one I started. It's just some pyrite and quartz, a lot of pyrite, and I have pre-shaped it, but it's pretty noisy, so I'm not sure if we're going to do that one today. It's pretty screechy. We had started a piece of Kingman on Sunday that started like this. Has a very thin backing on the back. And also there's the other piece that I've already pre-shaped. It needs to go through the 600, 1200, and 3000, and then the ZAM. But I have already shaped it on the back of this one so that I can get a pair. And if you don't know who Aaron Small is, he has a YouTube channel as well. Extremely generous. He just put a short out about how he uses faceting dopping wax or dapping wax, whichever, puts them together and then cuts them both at the same time so that they pretty much come out exactly the same. And that's a good technique to use. I have a little piece of Burrow Creek that needs to be finished off, so we're going to finish that off. This little piece of turquoise needs finishing off. So does this one. I have this little nice piece of Kingman that needs to be finished off. And then this one was the Persian one that we have on a topping stick already, and we need to finish that one off on those wheels as well. But I think just to see how it goes, we're going to try this glass. I was really thrilled with this shell. It almost looks like technicolored frog eggs in there. It's really neat. So that was handy. And I got my dollars back. I don't actually. And we have some real good bottle collecting in this area. Some of the creeks around here are fabulous. And I do get some of the drainage guys at work. Oh no, the mosquito guys that go around and take care of our mosquito population. Excuse me while I do this here. While they're in the streams or out in the woods, they collect things that collect water that are susceptible to mosquito larvae and such, and so they will pull the bottles out, and yeah. And we do get those brought to me where I work to sell to the public. So we come across some pretty neat bottles. I'm not the sommelier of bottle collecting, or a master in it either. Let me just try this. I'm gonna don't need gloves, but when you're dealing with glass, you definitely need to wear a mask. Really, with all the minerals, you should wear a mask. So I'm gonna put a mask on real quick. Oh my goodness, we made 1,000 subscribers. That is fantastic. And I think we had such a successful Sunday. I think we were on for 3 hours, and I ended up with 300 watch hours just for that one session, which will bring me somewhere close to like 2,800, 2,850 in watch hours. So I'm almost at that eligibility number. Yeah, we'll see when we get there. I'm going to do some sort of reward. We've already talked about it in some of the other lives, but I just wanted to show my appreciation to you guys that have subscribed and supported me this whole year. It's been fantastic. So let's get going on this. Thank you, that Opal guy. You're included. So yeah, thank you for everything. It's the support of everybody in these communities, and like I was saying, it's not just the rock community, it's the resellers over at the jewelry resellers for me have been very supportive, and yeah, I'm taken aback a bit. So let's get this going. So this is something I started doing when I first started. I couldn't afford a lot of high-priced material. So I would find little things to cut, to practice on, and let's see how this goes. So as little, chip bangs are going to have to come out. It looks like the equivalent of a saw mark right there. The edges are not straight, but we're going to see if we can shape something out of this just for fun. Not too hard. See if we can make something nice out of this. So yeah, if you're new and you want to try it, and you're not sure you want to do it, or you have an interest in it, work on some cheap material that you can get anywhere. And I forget what the Mohs scale for glass is, but it's probably, I'm going to say, around a 4. Probably very similar to like an obsidian. Let's flatten this down some. So it's a little concave, so it gives me a little bit of practice. See how it's a little bit concave, probably from a bottle or whatever it happens to be. And this gives me a little practice at flattening it. That black isn't from this glass, it's actually from that piece of pyrite and quartz I was working on. So yeah, this is good practice material. And once I think it's flat, put it up on top here, see if it moves around. And it's got a little bit of a jiggle that way. So it's not quite flat, or I went too far on one end, and I think I went too far on one end. Another good way to flatten stuff is actually on a flat lap, or you can even use like some wet dry sandpaper, or even a sharpening brick, you know, like a sand brick. So, now you can see I don't know if you can see this. Ready? You see that little egg in the middle? So that little egg is still part of that concave. I kind of like it there, actually. So I might just leave it. Now let's go around the edge. And I've already put a little bit of a girdle on it. You can see that little angle right there from the bottom to the face. And that little angle's good. Hi everybody, welcome in. Hey, if you weren't here, we just hit 1,000, and yeah, hi Adrian, how are you? And it's amazing. I want to say undeserved, but then Freckled Cat, I'll get in trouble. Yeah, I've worked hard at it, I have. Now I got to set some new goals for myself. Now this isn't a diamond. It's literally glass. It's just a piece of sea glass that I was just showing people that it's a good thing to practice on if you've never done any type of lapidary before. It's actually got some sort of, I don't know what, it's like a chatoyance in there for some reason. It's actually really neat, which I did not see that before. So it just gives practice. It gives you practice on the girdle, flattening out the back, and then because I'm on this 80 grit over here, if you look at the edge, you'll see little tiny chips, and that goes all the way around, and that also happens with stones. So it's a good way to know when to move over to the next wheel, because really you're just doing more damage with the quick grit or that lower grit wheel. I didn't know this was going to turn into a little bit of a teaching live, but that's okay. Welcome in everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you are all off tomorrow. And if you're not, I hope they treat you well, or at least you have like a work lunch or something like that going on. So, good practice. Got saw marks, got a little chip in here that's going to have to come out. So everything around this chip, that sort of ding in there, is going to have to come at least down to that. So I'm going to do a quick round over the top, not necessarily to dome it, but to take out some of this damage. As you can see, it's not chipping out and cutting me or anything like that. My biggest safety issue with this would be the dust itself. Alright, so it's kind of rounded that all the way around. Let's see what it looks like. Hi everybody. We hit 1,000 today, which is awesome. So you see that chip's getting smaller. We will be doing some sort of reward within the next week or so for everybody that's subscribed, and we'll probably do like 3 different kinds of giveaways or rewards. I really didn't think I'd be this far. I didn't base this channel on giving stuff away, but to get to 1,000 is just fantastic, and I think we should celebrate it a little bit. So we'll work that out, and I will post the details. So getting that out a little bit on that saw mark, and I'm just gonna I'm going to move over one wheel actually, because at this point this 80 grit's a little too aggressive. Thank you, Ghost. I appreciate that. Hey, Steven, how you doing? Hey, Steve, we hit 1,000. Thank you so much, sir. If you don't know Steve, and you have a little bit of a sense of humor, and you don't get offended easily, you should definitely go check out Steve's channel. I think he's up in Michigan there, and he has some goals set for his channel as well. Okay, so because we're getting that little chipping, this is where I'm going to go around this bottom edge and just bevel it out about 45 degrees, and that should stop some of the chipping from occurring in the next couple of wheels. Hi everybody, welcome in. Yeah, I usually go live on Thursdays and Sundays. I might go live tomorrow, but it is family day tomorrow. And I think I should celebrate that because they have supported me with this whole endeavor. None of us thought it would turn into what it has turned into. And yeah, they've supported me throughout. So I thank my family very, very much. And I get to spend it with my close family tomorrow. And because it's just a few of us, we get to eat what we want. We get to play whatever games we want to. We can have whatever movie on the TV that we want to. And it should be a good day tomorrow. Okay, so still got that there, and you see how this chip is now popped out. It's a lot deeper than I thought. But that's the kind of thing that you learn when you're doing a stone. You know, you might have something like, it could even be something like this, and you could be working on it, and then suddenly, boop, a piece of the acrylic pops out, or a piece of the gaskite pings out the side, or you're coming along here and you hit the side of your wheel and groove into the top of the stone just like that. That wasn't me, but it happens. And sometimes the material chips, like obsidian being glass, it chips out from time to time. So they're all things that you go through when you start doing lapidary. I am not a professional. I've been doing it about 4 or 5 years now. People tell me that I'm decent at it, enough that I get a few commissions from one of the local jewelers, and now he has started letting other people within the city know that I do it. So that's a compliment. I mean, you know, when a true professional that's been doing it for 50 years is starting to tell other people about you and network you without even being asked is really nice and quite a compliment. So I'm just sort of trying to round it without making it too thin, taking out the line, which is the groove, and I still got to take that chip out all the way down across the whole stone. So this is just really good practice, and anybody could do this. Still got a hole. See, it's getting smaller now. And so you check your stones, still got that scratch. Hey, cool, how you doing? Thank you, I appreciate that. That's very kind. And yeah, I've just been doing lives, which have been really fun. I really enjoy so before, I was just, see how that just chipped out the top there? That little rascal. Before I was taping everything I was doing and then editing and then posting, and it's far more enjoyable to have you guys along with me. I know that might surprise you, but your company is welcome. And, anything in the chat goes, as long as it's hopefully not political, hopefully not religious. Not that we aren't religious, but that's not really what this channel's about. Although I do thank a higher power in my daily life. And I've learned quite a bit just from everybody in the chat. Suggestions of things that may help me as I'm trying to take out a chip or flatten the back. Maybe knows a material that I'm working on for the first time, and they have worked on it previously, so they know when it fractures or what the inclusions look like, things like that. Okay, so the line's gone, pretty much. We just got a little toad in the hole right there. Kind of looks like I won't say it. Alright, so a bit of a wiggle waggle. I think we're going to go on to the next wheel, even though that final little divot hasn't come out. But I mean, that's pretty cool looking, right? I mean, I found it with my $6. It's $6, well, let's call it $5.50, and the abalone shell for $1.99. And we just had this piece of sea glass in there. And what else was in there? Oh, there was a tiny little geode that was in there as well. And that looks local, actually. So, I don't know, it's a quick little fun buy. And that's a real suggestion for you. So, you know how everybody puts glass beads in their flower vases and bathroom dishes and things like that? Check them out. From time to time, you'll find something in there that they've put that they thought was special, and it still ends up with all the other stuff that's... So what else did I find? Do I have it with me? I had another one. Oh, there it is. So you find things like this. That's an oldie right there. You find these in the creeks around here too. But yeah, that's an oldie. Just in somebody's jar. So keep your eye out. You never know what somebody might have put into a jar in their bathroom or their bedroom or something. It ends up at the local thrift. I found a couple of pieces of turquoise that way as well. Alright, going over the back again. And here, this is shiny. Oh. So what you don't want to do with glass is let it go flying, because it will chip back up. Hi everybody, welcome in. Happy Thanksgiving. You have no idea. When she starts making cookies, Steve, yeah, it'll be till January. And she does some amazing decorations, and I think I had 3 different types of cookie last night. Because somebody has to taste them and be the kitchen critique. Yeah, this has a little clairvoyant thing going on. showing you over the dome a little bit. Not a high dome. And hopefully that little chip will come out, that little hole, and it'll be looking good. But this is a good way to practice. You know, this has been what, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and there's 3 or 4 different things that have occurred that you will face when you cut stones. Chips, lines, girdles, domes, flattening backs, little chips coming out from the low grit diamond. So the low grit diamond are the bigger pieces of diamond basically, because it takes off more. Seems counterintuitive that you would have a lower grit, has a bigger pieces on it, but it does. Hey everybody, did you see we hit 1,000 subscribers? Yeah, maybe we'll do well, you know, I mean, it makes sense that maybe we need to make some rock cookies with different materials in cookie form. So yeah, we did. Oh, it's still there, that little teeny. I hope I don't have to go back. Ow, hot. I was pressing too hard. Pressing my index finger. Yep, there it goes. It's a bloodstone now. Right there, point. So these wheels won't hurt you unless you keep your fingers on there too long. And that's what I just did, and I was pressing too hard. Means I think I'm going to put my gloves on. The hole is still there. I need to get that hole up. Let me have to go back to do this. So I got to go back one wheel because that hole's still a little too deep. But I think it's only going to be one wheel. So tiny. Hi everybody, welcome in. Happy Thanksgiving. I want to congratulate you all and thank you all for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. And we will be doing some sort of reward in the next week or two. Once I decide what it is we're going to give away. And it's definitely going to you're definitely going to have a better chance if you subscribe. And if you have made comments either in my shorts or in the chat, live chats. So I will post it in sort of a community post of what we're going to do with that. I did not think, I thought 2 weeks ago, I think we were like 100 and something away. I did not expect to be here right now, especially by Thanksgiving, which is just, I mean, it's fabulous. Now I got to go over everything that I just did on this wheel. I'm pretty sure that our little hole is gone, and we'll move on to something else. And I think I got about, I don't know, 180 hours to go to reach that first 3,000 threshold. So what helps with that is if people stay over 30 seconds or a minute in this life. Hey Husky, thank you so much. Yeah, it's fabulous. And like I was saying, Husky, you know, a lot of it comes down to a lot of the jewelry resellers too. So if any of you listening know Tanya over at My Jewelry Addiction, I think Kirsten from Kirsten Red Resale may even be going on tonight. And she always has amazing Native American jewelry and other silver, sterling silver. I think she has a pirate ship somewhere. And then we've got Leonore over at Leonore Reacts, who helps the community a lot. My Captiva, Aqua Lover, Dana, Husky, who's in the chat, Jen B over at Jen B Studios. Jason Adams is great for the jewelry and the antiques and some of the historical value of things. There's Haley on Haley's channel, which is a jewelry channel. There's Elizabeth. Who else has been in? Christy, of course, of Ladies Who Loop. And then, obviously, Lapidary Dave has been amazing. One for learning, very educational at the gem shows. I've learned a lot of how to work these wheels from him, and also had access to resources and minerals that most people wouldn't normally have access to, and I very much appreciate that. So there's everybody from Dave Duncan to Ray Castello, Don over at Don Dupuy at Diamond Pacific. Tim is one of the news resellers, and he has some awesome stuff coming in. And of course that Opal guy. Don's great. I love some of his photography, and he works on the Opal. He has started to venture out, which I think a lot of us Opal people do. I do have some Opal here today. I don't know if we'll do one of these. Maybe we'll try one of these. I don't know if it shows up very well, because each one of these, let's see, each one of these stones has color throughout. Let's see if we do it. Let's do that. There's the light. Let's try it this way, so you can kind of see. Maybe we'll pull one of these out. I've had this for a while. It's just some shell material. Maybe we'll start one of those. Look at that chatoyan. It's almost... I have not seen glass do this before, where it's got that like side chatoyan. It's almost like a broad flash. I don't know why it's doing that. I like it. So yeah, really nice piece. And I think that's good for this piece for right now. So that's a great practice, right? So that cost me less than a nickel. I mean, obviously you have to have the tools and the equipment, but I think you could do this if you wanted with sandpaper and a good mask, a really good mask for silica or glass. We get that little hole out? We did. Okay. Alright, so that's good for that piece. What a great practice. going to work on? That's already done. I'm looking for pieces that I haven't started. So that's ready to go to this one's ready to go to the next 3 wheels. This one's ready to go to the next 3 wheels. Maybe we will do a piece of opal. Yeah, I think we're going to do so. This is ready for the next 3 wheels, and this is ready for the next 3 wheels. So I'm going to do a piece of opal. Let's see if this works. I don't know how the lighting's. I can see a lot of color. You guys might not be able to see a lot of color. I don't think this won't let me take the exposure down. Maybe it will. No. And they look white on here, so I'm not really sure. It is not working. Let's see if we do this. That's a little bit better. But yeah, it's not showing up well at all. But I'm going to choose a piece out of here. It's all got color through and through. Let's see. Another time. Let's just do this little thin piece. Yeah, this has actually, it's multicolored. It's Cuba PD. I think it was part of a huge shell at one point. And let me go a little closer, see if it works. You can kind of see it. It does not want to show. Opal's funny like that, isn't it? So I'm going to do this real quick. Okay. Didn't know if it was showing quite as bright as it really is in person. But I'm just going to take this little edge off here. Try not to get my fingers on there too much. Thank you all for being in today. Hi, WHK. Up there a little bit. No. There we go. No. Sorry, it's playing games. Let's try that. No. It's fighting me today. Why is that? I'm gonna lose like 800 subscribers. Alright, I gotta find it again. There we go. That's better. I gotta get all that out. So that's just got gunk all the way into about there. Oh, now I see it. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it shining pretty well. This is hard stuff too. Wow. Not all opal is as hard as this. Wow, I am pushing really hard. I think I cut a piece of this and it took forever. Let's try it one more. Can actually go like that. We're gonna go on to the 80 grit on an opal, which doesn't happen very often. Alright, so I'm going to get that down. So this is 80 grit on an opal, and that does not happen very often. It also means I can cut it a little bit thinner because it is so hard. Do not see any color yet. So let's go around the edge and then we're going to come down from the other side. Right now all I'm seeing is potch from the bottom. I'm going to round it up a little bit. Do almost a shield shape. It's going to be a bit of a free form. Alright, let's take that top down. I got a good shape. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you all for popping in. You have now reached the live and we have hit 1,000 subscribers, which is unexpected and I feel quite honored. Alright, we're getting a bit of color. A little bit of color coming. Gonna take out that a little bit and we're looking good. I probably won't finish this one today, but it needs to be dopped up and finished up. So we're good with that. But it's showing really well with this magnification on the glass, so I'm sorry it looks like we have the zoom of doom, but it's showing these opals really much nicer than, yeah. This is also now a blood opal. Get that back down. Still got a little bit. Come on, here you go. Yeah. Hey. I don't always do it right. Sometimes I do things that I know are wrong to do. Okay, that little piece is going to come out. And I can make it this thin. So normally I couldn't make an opal quite this thin and have it stable, but this stuff is so hard. And I wonder if it's because it was a shell. And it makes the pseudomorph have strength. I'm not sure. Or maybe it was just compressed because of how hard the there you go. Now we're looking good. Look at that. Alright. And then if you take a little bit of light out, so I'm burying it in my fingers. Fingers that have like pyrite in them and everything. So we have had quite a couple of weeks it's been 2 weeks we've been dealing with the plumber, and praise the Lord, or praise whoever it is you praise, Aunt Elma, whoever it happens to be, but we have a friend who is a plumber, and he was a godsend, because we didn't just have one leak, we had a leak in the bathroom and a leak in the kitchen. And then on top of that, we didn't get any mold because it was dripping onto the terrazzo floor, or concrete, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, we were very, very fortunate, and it's been a bit stressful. But as of right now, it's turned out really well. Yeah. Thank you. I just got a little tip right there to get the shape right. Pink. Thanks, Steve. I really appreciate it. Hi, Lupko. I'm just gonna say D. Welcome in. So, how many do we have right now as far as subscribers? Let's have a look. It just says 1,000. 1,000. Is that 1,010? I can't tell anymore. So I don't know if it goes in tens or thousands or hundreds or what goes next. So, all new territory. Welcome, new territory. And I think this is one of the bigger hurdles that you have to get over for eligibility, which was not my aim when I started this channel. Alright. I like that a lot. We're going to do a little bit on this last wheel. We're actually going to switch over to the final 3 wheels and get some of these other stones finished up. And maybe we can get onto the ZAM today. And I can see just a little bitty chip right there. You see how it's off just a tiny bit? No, it's not a chip, it's just a little dark spot. And it'd be nice if we didn't have that. Also, Robert over at Global Prospecting. Yeah, I mean, if I go to my Opal guys, so my 3 favorite Opal guys would be, well, obviously the Opal guy, but also Justin over at Black Opal Direct. I have a few of his stones. The Colonel, so Pulitzer Opal. And probably my favorite Opal guy is Phil over at the Opal Mills, who does a little bit of mining over in Andamuka when he gets the chance. But I've learned a lot about shaping and doming and preparing each stone for jewelry, and understanding why people do certain things to make their stones more sort of equatable to jewelers themselves. Alright, that is the back, and there is no little spot anymore. So, if you look at my face here, off just a little bit. That is good. And then, yeah, Robert's extremely generous if you go over to his channel. He comes on Thursday evenings at 9 o'clock. I like this. Look at the color in there. It's over the whole face. Very nice. Who knows, maybe this will be part of the giveaway, I think. Maybe that'll be one of the giveaways. It's a beautiful stone, and probably up in the 150-ish. I start with an 80, and then a 180, and then, then a 240, then a 280. I mean a 280, and then a 240, and then I go 600, 1200, 3000, which is where I'm going to move over to right now. I'm going to see if there's anything I want to cut left on these wheels, but I think we have enough to finish up, so let's move over. Hold on, hopefully I don't lose you. We will back this up a little bit on this one. That's just too close for me. Let's do this. There you go. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for coming in. The channel is RocksAlot. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a fabulous goal to reach. And I go live mostly on Thursdays and Sundays. Going live today on a Wednesday because we do have Thanksgiving tomorrow. Ooh, you see that? Look, that's not bubbling. I don't think you can see that. So that should be spitting up water. It's not. So we've got to fix that. Let's see if we can do that. So let's turn that off. I don't know if you can kind of see or not. You can't really see from there. Maybe you can see what I'm about to do. Kind of. I'm going to lift this off. And then, I don't know if you can see, you can see it. There's a little pump right here. This is the air pump. It has a little pulley over on the wheels right here. And inside here, there's just some leathers that go up and down. And they pump the air into these little geysers, and the air pumps down this side and then kicks the water up this side. So this one's not working, and I assume it's because it dropped off, which it did. So let's find where it is. There it is. So it's just a little tube that goes on the back of that. This right here. So that had been pulled off. That should do it. So now I just put the lid back on. Hopefully, without knocking it off again. Okay. Hopefully that is the easy fix. So let's give that a try. Back over here and down a little bit. So I haven't touched that, and hopefully, and there you go, all fixed. Pretty simple machine. Yeah, I mean, I've had it's a 25-year-old machine, and I've had to do some different things with it, but it is a pretty simple machine. The motor's still going. The motor gets pretty hot, so I don't know if I'm going to have to change the capacitor in there at some point. I mean, we're going to do this. This is the smoky piece of Kingman. Beautiful Kingman. Has been so thinly backed, just in case. I don't think it's going to break because it's a solid piece. It is natural. We're just going to go over it so we can get it ready for the exam station. So right now I'm working on the 600 drip. So not only have I hit 1,000, I'm about to hit the 3,000 hours, I think. Then you can start doing all kinds of different things with YouTube, and you start getting more support. But I've had a lot of support from YouTube. I don't know what I've done to deserve it, but they've been really good to me. They've pushed my content out somewhat. I don't know if that I've been pushed out any more than anybody else. But as of late, my shorts have started to get to like 3,000. I had a couple of shorts at 3,000 views, which is a few more than I used to get. The subscribers have been coming in with the lives, which is great and very much appreciated. And I don't know where the channel's going to go from here. I think I'd like to get it to a point where I start selling some of the stones. I don't know how that's going to be, if it's going to be eBay or Etsy or Instagram or just straight off of here, off of YouTube. But I do need to start paying for the hobby. And I have had a few subscribers reach out and ask if they can purchase some of the stones. So this is showing some of the hematite or the pyrite right there. See that in the middle? It's actually got a really nice metallic shine as well as the blue color. And yeah, I have a lot of new material that I haven't even opened up. I've had it for a while. I have been saving it, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with everybody. The Varisites and turquoises, fire agates, some really nice jaspers. I got some new old slabs that came in from Don Dupuy over at Depew over at Diamond Pacific. He was also very generous. So as you can see, the gunk off of here is a little bit darker than the rest of the stuff. Yeah, I think you just, my advice to you is just keep plugging at it. Hopefully it doesn't become a chore. If it's becoming a chore, then, so for myself, if this became a chore, then I wouldn't continue to do it the way that I'm doing it. But I'm really just showing you guys what I'd be doing anyway. So I'll just kind of have you guys along for the ride. A lot of this is my way of, it helps me with my mental health. Let's put it that way. I've tried a few other things to do that in my years, and this is the substitute for me, and it's worked out really well. I've found out I'm actually pretty good at it, and yeah, I'm just super happy that anybody would come along and watch and join in the chat from time to time and really see what I'm up to. So it's also helped because I have family, across the other side of the pond there, across the Atlantic, and they also get to see some of the stuff that I'm up to without having to sit on the phone for hours with me, which is nice. Move you over a little bit. This is the 1200. I don't really need to do the back much. It's such a thin bit of backing on here. It's so thin you can hardly even see it. It's less than a millimeter thick. And this actually came from one of my first purchases that I did at Turquoise. Named George from Georgia. And George from Georgia did a lot of different types of rocks. And he had some really nice turquoise up for a long, long time, and nobody was buying it. And the one day I decided, because it was really high quality stuff, one day I decided to go buy it. Somebody else bought it from me, like in front of me seconds before. And it had been up for months and months and months. And so I reached out to him and was like, well, do you have anything else in your shed? And he's like, I got pieces in bags and I don't really know what it is. Well, this is some of the stuff that was in those bags that I got. Pretty nice. A little bit right there and there. Do you see that? A little bit of a crevice right there. I don't know if I need to get that out or if it's going to come out. And back then, this is years ago, and back then I didn't know that much about turquoise like I know now. So you see that right there? That's gonna... And some of the first pieces, he said there may be some really expensive turquoise in there. He wasn't 100% positive, and some of the first pieces that I cut, I didn't know until later, but they do very much look like lander. I can't say they're lander. I don't think I'd be able to know unless I sent them off for testing. But they look very similar. And yeah, those were the first pieces that I cut, and they weren't the best cuts ever. The stones came out really nice, but I would definitely shape them differently than today than what I was shaping stuff when I first started. Alright, this is the 3000 grit. This really doesn't have a dome on it. Very, very, very slight. So I'm not sure if I'm going to turn these into two of the most expensive turquoise earrings ever, or two very similar pendants. Just about as many as any other country. I mean, I guess you could call this a better color, I'm not sure. Well, that's good. Hey, Rocky Mountain Bear. I've been meaning to be my friend. We just had some life things going on our end, and I will call you. It's all right. I'll give you a call maybe Friday. I did want to chat with you, and thank you for the email. Yeah, I just so the guy sold me some stuff that looks very similar to lander. He said there may be some Denali and some lander or very expensive turquoise in there. He didn't know. This was like 4 years ago, and I had no idea what lander at the time was. So let's do this little piece. Got a little bit of pyrite in it, and up to 3000. This one has a little bit of a smell to it because it has been stabilized with some sort of epoxy. Like even cactus juice has a smell to it. Not a strong one, but around, you know. So we did these, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. And we got them to the third wheel, and these just need finishing off. Look at that for a second. Yeah. And we actually, Rocky, ours has turned out okay, but when you're in the middle of it, it's not fun. Whether it's cars or roofs, or this time for us it was plumbing. Where is our plumbing? I know you guys don't really care that much about plumbing. I did get a little bit of copper out of it. So, here you go. So, this is part of from underneath our sink. So, I will melt some of this down. I got to get the solder off of it or clean it up. But this was one of the dripping holes that we had in our kitchen, and so this is what was happening. And he said it's because when they soldered this together back in the day, they let the solder come down here and they didn't braze it correctly, and so it ended up making that hole in there. Thank goodness we had a friend, because yeah, he charged us, but he didn't charge us half the house. And he fixed up everything, redid some piping for us. We were fortunate enough not to have mold down there. It's dirty, but it wasn't moldy, and so we're really lucky. And, but yeah, you know, when you don't know what's going on and you're running down the street to take showers at other family members' houses, it happens. And we did okay out of it. Maybe a little less on the Christmas presents, I don't know. Maybe I should sell some of these stones, that's what I need to do. And we will be giving a few of these stones away. Alright, that's the 600. Let's go back a little closer. Yes. Fortunately, I have friends in construction, and they've done everything from military bases to flipping houses, and it took them years to find the right crews, like years and years of going through people that would either turn up for a week or two, and then turn up drunk or drugged up or whatever it happened to be. And yeah, it took them years to find all the right people, and eventually they do, and now they have one of the best crews in the southeast of the United States. And because of that, they get some pretty amazing jobs. And they all help each other out as far as roofing, cement work, plumbing, you know, painting, all of it. They still charge you, but it's a reasonable friend rate, I should say. Alright, I'm on the 1200 right here. A nice high girdle to it, medium dome. The fire rate's coming out pretty nice. Let's move over to the last one. And if you weren't here earlier, we just hit 1,000 subs. Day before Thanksgiving. I mean, what a day to do it. And I appreciate all of you who are watching. Thank you. We will be doing some sort of reward in the next couple of weeks. probably be for the subscribers, and then we'll do a live, or I'll do a video that if you put a comment in, we'll put you in some sort of raffle kind of thing, or the wheel, and then maybe one live we will do it similar to others where you just pick a number between 1 and 1,000, and we'll do it that way. Okay. Do a quick dry check. That's the 3,000 dry. There's a little bit up here, doesn't it? Missed that just a little bit right there. That should do it. Still not polishing quite the same as the rest of the stone. So I hope everybody's got some plans for tomorrow. You may just be sleeping in. Alright, so that started to polish up here. Let's do this glass and finish this glass piece. So we did this piece just as in a sort of educational piece. I don't know why I got that chatoyant tint to the back of it, because I haven't really seen that in glass before. But this was the first piece we did, and it had some chips in it around the outside. The bottom was concave because it was part of a jar or a glass or maybe some old vase, and looked like beach glass. And so for an educational purpose, we flattened out the back. We gave it a bit of a girdle around the edge. Domed it just slightly, took out the chip off the top, which had like a hole, and then we also had something similar to a saw mark that was on here, and we took that out too. And anybody can try that. You know, you don't have to go out and find some expensive material. I found this in a bunch of shells, in a geode, and some sand dollars at the thrift store today. I think it's just glass, so almost has, it's not dragon's breath, but there's something going on within the glass that gives it that chatoyance. Alright, so that's the girdle all the way around, going around that rounded edge. And this should polish up pretty well. It's almost like a broad flash. It's really odd. Odd in a great way. Alright. Let's do this. Do a bit of a wiggle waggle. If I can get a good polish on a piece of glass, then I should be able to do it on a stone. And it's a good way to test yourself too. And make sure I'm not getting into any bad habits of missing out a stage along the way. Oops. It's getting slippery. Let's do a quick dry test, even though that's the 600. See, I don't have any major scratches in there, which I don't see any, but what's that? What is that right there? What is that? Is that bubbles? No, still something going on right there. What is that? It's almost like it's bubbles. But that's why you do a dry test. So there's something going on there, and I need to take care of it. This doesn't seem to be on the surface. See how it doesn't? See if we can get that out right here. I don't know if this grit's strong enough, which means if I have to go back to the next wheel, it's going to take a little bit longer. But I'm better off finding it now than getting to the 3000 and then spotting it and having to go back 4 wheels. Take another quick test. This will tell me if I need to go back one, which I hope I don't. It's still there. What is that? Is it getting less than it was the last time we looked at it? Let me give it a full dry here. Okay. It's still there. What is that? Alright, well, if you don't mind waiting, I am going to make sure I know where it's at. It's right there. So actually what I'm going to do, I could do this more often. I'm going to take a black Sharpie, and wherever that mark is, right there, I'm going to cover that mark up, and that one right there, and I'm going to go onto the wheel over here. I don't think we're going to be able to let you see it without me pulling you out. Let's see. No. See how far I can get you over. Oh, pretty close. Pretty close. Let's go up. Sorry about this. Trying to see if I can get you over there without taking you out of the balance. So this is the other. I don't know if I can do this. It's mighty long. So I'm going to try. I'm doing it one-handed because it's as far as I can reach with you in the stand here. So really I just need to take off. I'm doing the whole top of the stone almost, and just taking that Sharpie off. And hopefully that'll be enough. Okay, the Sharpie is gone. Now let's see if that hole is still there. All those little scratches. And I think most of it's gone. It's like right there. I wonder if it's bubbles. Maybe bubbles. I think that's a bubble right there at the bottom. And the top ones, I wonder if that's bubbles too. And the problem is, if it's bubbles and I get into the bubble, it will ruin the surface. Let me go on this pretty hard. Come in here a little bit. hope I'm not blocking you too much. Trying to get some pressure on there. Thanks for all the thumbs up. Hi, Al. Okay, and so that's a bit better, isn't it? So I think the one at the bottom is a bubble. There's one on the top here. Just needs to come out. I'm going to press pretty hard. Sorry if you can't see too well. Well, it's pretty muscly, so don't get too excited. Been working out all my life. Alright, now you see how everything else is scratched up, but that'll come off. And I'm hoping that's the bubble right there, and we're going to move back to where we were. Alright. Nothing like an arm view, right? You don't want to see the rest of me. Alright, here we go. So, if that doesn't work, I'll have to come back another time. So, I assume everybody's doing family lunch and dinner or whatever tomorrow if they don't have to work. Well, what have you got planned for the rest of the weekend? You can only put up with family for a certain amount of time. And it's like, I gotta go see some friends, or go fishing. Maybe just get out of the city for a little bit. Unless it's freezing. Alright, that sounds like money. Yeah, so tripod wise, this one I'm on right now is actually a microphone one that I can stretch from side to side. The first one on, I got a couple of those Magic Arm 22-inch or whatever. They're on Amazon. They work really well actually. And so all my tripods were like camera ones and selfie ones and things I rigged together over the years. And some of them when I'm outside with a saw, I don't mind getting them too mucked up. The first three wheels of this machine can spit out some pretty nasty silicone and rock sludge. So you want to get in real close with the phone, but you can't get too close, at least on this machine, because of the water. Hey, Donnie. Kind of. This one actually is glass. And we did it as a practice one. And I got one bubble. I'm trying to work around the bubble without going through the bubble, because if I go through the bubble, it'll then turn into a pocket, not just a bubble. But it is a good way of figuring out whether your gemstones are real. Because if you have a bubble, like that little bubble right there in your gemstone probably isn't really a gemstone. It's going to be lab or glass. Yeah, well, you got the resin, use it, right? Now you're gonna UV light that one. I don't know, I've always liked epoxy and resin, Steve. I don't do enough of it. That's a whole nother project. But I like the way that people fill up tables and do artwork with it. Let's move over where you can see, right about there. This is the 1200 grit. This will be, what, the third stone? And if you weren't here earlier, I did this one just as a practice, just to show you can pretty much use and practice on anything around the house or somebody else's house. You can find it in a thrift store. So I found this little piece of beach glass in the thrift store, and we have recut it. It's really good practice to get a girdle on there like that. Flatten out your back, which we did, except for we left a little tiny little divot right in the back. Kind of see it. Got a little bit of a dome on it. We took a big chip out that was in the surface, and we also took a saw mark that was in the surface out. But it's good practice to go through all your wheels or all your polishing pads, whether you rig something together from Harbor Freight or if you're working with a Diamond Pacific like I am, or a King Tab. And it's a good way to figure out, a glass is a good way to figure out if you're going through all your steps and stages correctly. It's just like if you're tumbling stones, you have to make sure that you do them for long enough but not too long. You have enough grits in there or mediums that work well with the stone that you're working with. So a little bit down. What are we going to do? We got 1, 2. Basically, we got 2 more to go, 3 more to go after this one, but they're smaller. It shouldn't take too long. Let's give another quick dry test. Boop. And if you weren't here earlier too, we hit 1,000 subscribers today, which is just fantastic. So this is the dry test. A little bit of a scratch-a-rooney right there, I think. Got a hole right, a bubble right there. So this is, every time I think I got rid of one scratch, another one's appearing. So it's alright. And you can practice different techniques with rolling the stone, clockwise, anti-clockwise, doing the wiggle waggle, which now my hands won't do right now. Polishing and toning at the same time. So you come into the middle, you see how little it's taking some off, but very little. Now you can really see that that's a bubble. So. The bubble is now allowed to stay. The scratches were not. And I know, Steve, that's one thing with resin, it's hard to get rid of all the... Really? Well, this is fantastic news. We are moving up in the world, people. Catching them up quick. Who knows where we'll be this time next year? But put it on your diary or your schedule. I have no idea, like, do I set goals for myself next year for the channel, or do we just keep running the way it is and let things happen in the way that they happen? And I think that's probably the way I'm going to go. Once it becomes work, then it's just not as enjoyable. I don't think it's as enjoyable for everybody else to watch, and my attitude and my demeanor will be different than what it is today. Because this is fun to me. I mean, it keeps me off the phone, but on the phone at the same time. But I think this is far more productive than me swiping through YouTube or TikTok. I like to go to channels and watch them for a little bit and follow them. I have quite a few that I subscribe to that I like to go watch on a regular basis. And you almost start to feel like you're family. And I do consider all of you on the other side of this phone friends, so thank you. So I have that 5-gallon one that I've stabilized a few stones with, and I forget what size pump on it. I got a pretty, I think they call it, it's a two-phase pump, but it's not a two-phase pump as in like electricity. It's not like one-phase, three-phase. And it works pretty well. You'd be amazed. I don't know if we're gonna do it live. We'll probably do it live. I need to sort some of the stuff out in here and organize it so I can do it outside, where I can show what we're doing. But you'd be amazed what comes out of how much air comes out of a little stone like that. It looks solid, but there's so much air in there. It's amazing. All right, I think we're about done with this one. Let's go around the edge here. This one I got to do Serium with this one. I'm going to have to do Serium with the Opal, and then we'll examine a few things. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you subscribe, I go live on Thursdays. Of course, it's Wednesday, but Thursdays and Sundays, and occasionally in between. And try to throw up a few shorts during the week and a couple of videos every now and then. .64 is going to be the lucky number. Okay, so and that little critter right there. Let's have to go back to 4. Hope this is the only one. If it's still there, I'm gonna have to do it another time. But we'll Serium it anyway. The Serium is gonna be the final tail of how many scratches are still on the top of this. And we've spent quite a bit of time on this too. Right. I think that one in the middle went. Alright, that one's good. That one's good. Got a couple little ones like this I have to do. Shouldn't take too long. Stabilized turquoise. Almost looks like number 8. I can't positively say it's number 8. It has that chocolatey brown matrix with the little eye dots. So this is true number 8 right here. The blade on my saw bent, so I wasn't able to cut any of this. I was planning to cut some of this today, but that's chocolatey brown, speckly number 8, which we will get to in the future. And because of the way that that looks, this is very similar. The blue's a little bit lighter. Freckle Cat is busy. I don't know if she's making corn casserole anymore or if she's eating it all. Because she does have to try all the food that she makes, except for the cookies. I have to be the one to try out the cookies. See how dark that is? That's all the matrix on the back, and I managed to pull out that color with that sort of delta, river delta look on it, which is really good. How's it going, Donnie? You doing all right? I appreciate you joining again. Yeah. I was given all kinds of cookies to take to work today. A couple of them made them to employees. Then I got busy, so some of them may be saved in there somewhere in my office. This one, finish this one off. Really that quick. Did a pretty good job on these when we did these Sunday. Get that edge, just so it doesn't chip out. And these ones, you can smell the stabilization in these. Pretty strong. Now it doesn't smell when you set them in jewelry unless you rub them on something for a long time, or maybe set light to it. Ah, shoot, that's not good. Oh, I might have lost that one. Uh-oh. Well, that one went somewhere. Yep. That one might have come out the back. Alright, well, move on to the next one. It's back there somewhere. And then we're going to do the opal after this piece, and then we'll do the final polish. This is the same material, a little bit nicer stone. And I domed off the back just a little bit, because I think it's going to be nice if it gets set in an open back pendant. So this was actually the back, and that is the front. And I actually like the little checker look here, even though it's kind of missing in that corner. I kind of like that. And then the back turned out really nice. And we'll do the wiggle waggle on these. The wiggle waggle is like scratching your head and patting your head and rubbing your belly, or rubbing your head and patting your belly. Takes a little time to learn. You go around one way and then round the other way. And I'm going to turn it around and do the same maneuver. Going pretty slow. Hey, guess what? I got 1,000 subscribers. That's fantastic. Alright. Move on. Hopefully I don't drop this one. And keep just that little bit of the dome. I'm sort of pushing on the right hand side of the stone and rolling it around. It doesn't really dome it out, but it gives it a slight, let's see if we can see it, slight bit of a dome. Very, very slight. And that way it'll protrude just a little bit out the back of the setting. Alright, looking good. Again, I'd like to thank all my jewelry resellers that have helped me along the way, and all the other rock hounders and lapidarists that have pushed my channel out a little bit for me. Thank you so much. And a lot of them, it's not just being nice to the community and to my channel, it's given me the inspiration to do it in the first place. That's what I really have to thank for. This one is a turquoise. I'd like to say it's number 8, but I can't guarantee that. So it's just a really nice turquoise. And appreciate you coming in and asking questions. They came off of somebody's, not their shop floor, but the shop bench. And they didn't think they were going to find anything in these stones at all. So they stuck them in a bag and let me have them. And I would say about 30% of them they were right, and 70% they probably should have gone ahead and cut them. Really nice. Okay. Let's not lose this one. And then I'm going to try and do this opal by hand. That's really nice. Alright, I have some different types. All different right here. I have some more bits right here. This is actually Persian or Iranian. You can tell by, it has a matrix that almost looks like concrete, but it's not concrete. It has a lot of pyrite in that one. And then this is actually a gaspiite, but similar in texture to turquoise. This is a turquoise. Nice green. Little black speckles there actually have an almost like a blue color to them. Really, really dark blue. I hope so. If I don't, I will be selling them to people that do. And I started silversmithing. Let's just put it this way. I have not got it. That's one of my goals for next year. So we hit 1,000 subscribers, which is fantastic and unexpected for this year. And I've mostly been cutting stones. But my intention has always been to do a little bit of silversmithing for myself as well. I've always loved the metals, and I think I should be I have a lot of designs in my head. That sort of crazy professor stuff. I don't think they're necessarily too crazy compared to everybody else. But I've had designs in my brain for a long time. And now that I can cut, not only can I cut calibrated stones, but I'm able to cut stones to particular shapes where I can use older settings and take people's older settings where the stone's broken or been displaced. And I'm pretty good at cutting to shape, even if it's freeform. Takes a while, but I'm getting pretty good at it. And that's why the jeweler gives me all this crappy stuff to do, because nobody else wants to do it. And he gives me some pretty awkward stuff to do as far as like sizes and shapes. He gives me really difficult stuff. And I've been pretty good probably 90% of the time. I've had one opal that I was very happy with, and then I wanted to push it, and I took it to an 8,000, and then I took it to a 14,000, and when I took it to the 14,000, it cracked because of the heat, and I was a little disappointed in that one. Alright, I have to concentrate a little bit because I want to try and keep my fingers. This is not how most people do it. But for some reason I'm able to do it with one hand. So I thought I was. Did I lose it already? So one of the signs that I start to get tired, so I don't know why I'm able to do this. I think it's because of the first machine that I ever worked on was just a two-wheel jeweler's touch-up machine. And this had stone wheels on it. And what I did like about the stone wheels was they would make a groove, like a concave groove in them, in the stone. And so it would automatically shape the dome for you. And I could do that one-handed. It's not a good idea to go one-handed. You're better off to put it on a dopping stick. Be more accurate, but I'm not trying to get, it's such a thin stone for me to get any sort of dome on it at all is good. It's not going to be much. So this is actually turning out to be a pretty nice teardrop. Don't worry, I didn't forget that I lost one out the back somewhere. Shouldn't be too far. Yeah, it's turning out pretty nice. And the more I polish that top down, the color's really starting to come out. And that's in just bone light and light from the machine here. I'm gonna move you in. I'm gonna move you along here. There we go. Oh, I think I spotted the stone. Excuse me 1 second. So yeah, this one flew all the way out the back, but it's there. Thank you guys. Yeah, this one we've pretty much done on the 3000. And then it went flying. Let me just make sure I didn't get any major cracks or anything in it. We are getting close to doing a little bit of Serium, which we're going to do on the glass and the Opal, and then we'll pop over to the ZAM station and finish that up over there. Okay. And I only left a little bit of blood on these. Hi Gemini, welcome in. Yes, Steve's been telling us stories, Gemini. We'll take that one over to the ZAM, and then let's finish up the Opal. Actually it is double-sided. So that's good. Oops. On the 3000 on the Opal. Roll it a little. So normally I would have put this on a dopping stick similar to this, but I'd already put enough skin into this game that I might as well finish it off. That's my grandmother going down the street. Here in the background. Yeah. She gets a little wild at nighttime. I would. Yeah, I'd have to charge. So Larimar is not the easiest material to work with because it's a pectolite. Let's see if I got something up here. So here's my box. Let's back this up a little bit. So that we're done right there. So I'm gonna move on to the Serium anyway. Now I just gotta make sure I don't drop this box in here. Yeah, that might work. Maybe not. Yeah, something like that. Oops. So let's come down a little bit, and I will show you. Because we had that question, let me make sure I got the question right. It says, would you charge to sand off some base rock off a specimen of Larimar? And yes, I'd have to charge, unless you could walk it down the street. But, so that's Larimar right there. And you get something a little more like that with Larimar. And so the really only good part of this is this vein right here. Because it's a pectolite, it's not the easiest thing to cut. I got bunches of it really. I don't have my good polished specimens. I've already put those in the house. So this stuff comes off pretty easy, the black stuff. But once you get into sort of the Larimar itself and the pectolite itself, it can become, it's needly is what it is, and it can break down those needles really easily. So let me see if I've got anything that we... So that was a nice saw. Right, let me show you. Why not show you? Not a bad question. So let's take you over. I'm going to take you out of here, hopefully without losing you. Like that. Going to come over here and hopefully put you back in this one without losing you. Oh, don't do it. Okay. So I'm going to show you how soft this is, and you should be able to do it yourself, even with a grinder. So let's turn this one on, and you can see all this around here. It's actually, in a lot of cases, so this is can be a pseudomorph palm root, palm wood or palm root from the Dominican Republic, and you'll find this black mineral on a lot of it, and some of that is just carbonized bark, like wood bark. And I forget the name of the meteor or asteroid that hit down in the Gulf of America, but a lot of people think that carbonization comes from that I forget the name of it. Begins with an X. Chimixi. I got it wrong. But also it may be from the volcanic activity that's in Dominican Republic and also in Haiti. So let's see, this should come off pretty quick. And this is just, well, let's do it right on this one. We'll do it on the 80 grit, so it's the hardest grit. And you can see how that comes off like that. That smudge. This is actually a nice piece. It would take me a while to take all of that from the outside. Need more water. Whoopsie. And then once you soak the Larimar for a while, it will actually start to crumble off. So, hi Lions, or should I say Leon? Hey Samuel. So yeah, you can actually soak your Larimar for a while and see how crumbly this outside becomes. It also becomes a lot louder. And I'm not going to do this piece, but I just want to show you it does take some work to get this outside off. It also takes some hard work on the machine. So, where'd that piece just go? There. I lost it, but a piece just fell off. And what happens with Larimar is, because it does have these little needles in it, it will start cracking down those needles. So It's a hard material to cut. Maybe I should get back to what we were doing. Yeah, Mossack, it's fantastic. Here you go. I happen to have a little slab right here. I don't know if I have my light. Where's my torch? Now we can do with this. You guys got me going everywhere. Let's see. Let's turn that off. So yeah, here's a really nice piece of moss agate. I'm actually going to turn off all the lights. Think. And then look at that. Pretty cool. So yeah. And then sometimes it also fluoresces with a black light. But yeah, looking at that slab, you wouldn't necessarily see that you could see right through it. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. I forget where that came from. I think that came from Don. Alright, we're almost at 8 o'clock. Are we almost at 8 o'clock? Yeah, we're almost at 8 o'clock. So let's turn this off for a second. So I was just showing you, you can get this stuff off. It takes a while. It's not the easiest material to work with. And it does have some pretty hard wear on your machine. So you just have to be quiet. You have to take it slow. And let's move this one over. I'm going to see if we can get a good picture of. Let's take you over here. Okay, I hope not to lose you again. Here we go. I'm going to go back into this one. Like that. Alright, that's not bad. I'm going to zoom you in. Gonna try not to give Steve his arm. He gets excited. And where is it? I had a little bit of, this has been working well for me for my Serium. I usually have like a more orange Serium. But this white stuff I have, I think this came from 53 Frogs out of Australia, and we're going to start with the piece of glass. So I got my squirty bottle just to wet down the felt, because on a Genie the pumps won't spit water up on this side of the machine. Not very well anyway. That's good. Good soaking. Turn the machine back on. And take the Opal as well. A paintbrush. Put some right on the Opal. Alright, that should do it. Hopefully I can do this without letting it fly. Doesn't take much. Go around the edge. I'm going to make sure it doesn't heat up. The felt will heat up. And if the opal heats up, it can crack. And normally I would have this on a stick, so I wouldn't be as worried about it flying away. But we did things a little backwards today. Let's go in the middle. That is good. All right. Let's see anything here. Pretty good. Pretty nice. I'm actually very happy it wasn't showing up the last time we did this, and it's showing up really nicely today. So that's the opal from today. It is a shell piece. It is extremely hard, even though it's thin. And this, I think, will probably be part of the reward that we're going to do for hitting 1,000 subs. And we are going to work that out. So being that it's 1,000 subs, I think I'm going to have to connect it somehow to how many subscribers, or to the subscribers. And then we may do another giveaway or two that is not linked to the subscribers. And we're going to work that out in the next week or two, and then I will let everybody know. Look at that. Pretty nice. Good on the back, too. Now let's try a little piece of glass here. This will tell us, or it's going to tell me how many speckles we got left at the top. I'm actually not going to add any more Serium. So let's do the back first. Then after this, we're going to hit the Zam machine, and then we'll be done. All right. Go around the edges. All right. I might need a little bit more Serium. Putting it right on the glass. Sorry, I'm not reading the chat right now. Thank you, Gemini. I do have a scale out here, Steve, so we'll see. I would say you're pretty close. It might actually even be, well, it's pretty thin, so you might be right on. You're definitely not far off. It might be 2. So I'm going to say 1.8 carats. Just to be different. All right. And we'll do that. We'll weigh it up, Steve, before I go over to the Zam station. I hope you can all see what I'm doing. Oh, you can. Yeah. So, dang good photographer right there. Oh, shoot. See? Open my big mouth. There we go. Oh, shoot. That's not good. Not good. What? Did it fly out the back too? You. No. Yep. Man. I think I lost that one. Really? Anybody see which way that went? Because I didn't. Let's turn it off. Huh. Must have gone down there somewhere. Alright, well, we lost. I think I lost the glass. Really? Alright, well. There it is, there it isn't. Well, I'm glad that wasn't the giveaway. Are you kidding me? Excuse me. Well, I'll have to find that another time. Unless it's in here. Yep, that one's a goner. So sometimes things fly around the shop, and that's one of them. So we're left with the Opal. I'll have to show the glass another time. Yeah, it's a little dark out here. So let's go over to... That was amazing. That, and that, and that. That can go in the corner. Alright. I'm going to go over to the ZAM station real quick. Can't believe we lost that. That's okay. Doop. Over the fishing rods. Into the ZAM station. Come on. Sorry about that. Alright, ZAM station. Got 4 quick stones to do. ZAM chromium aluminum oxide wax. And I'm just going to charge it real quick. So I was told in the last few days I should probably get a motor that's a little bit quicker than this one. It would help with my polishing. I thought the boulder that's behind me was a little bit faster, but it's also a 1725 RPM. Right, so just putting a little bit on here, not overcharging it. But if I had a faster motor with this buffer, it would stop the ZAM from getting into the crevices quite as much. So, quick test. I'm actually going to do the back even though it's backing. And that just spreads the ZAM out a little. And even polishes it a little bit. And let's do it before. So it's spread out. The light's a little spread out. Let's see how it does on the front. Well, I'll do the edges. So the Christmas elf came and stole my piece of glass. I'll have to put it up in a short after this. Let's see how this comes out. That light was pretty spread out on the top of this stone when we first started the ZAM here. Just turn it one more time. And if I let go of this stone, we're going to call it quits. Because this one will really fly. Alright, let's have a look. And now look at how that bulb, not quite pinpoint, but it's a lot more focused. So it's really nice. If I can get the right angle, I should get some of that sort of metallic. Anyway, very nice stone. Very happy with that. I guess I should take a little picture, shouldn't I? Let's do that one just a little bit more. There you go. That's better. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to do these two little ones. This is before. You can see the light, but not fantastic. Do the back of the test. And that polishes up pretty nice. So let's do the front. Do the sides a little bit. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you all for your support. I have most of your names written down already, and I'm going to put out a post thanking you all. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving tomorrow. Maybe I'll go live. I don't know. We'll see. It's really a family day tomorrow, which is why I came on today. I can't believe we've actually hit 1,000 subscribers. I mean, what a goal to accomplish. It wasn't even a goal, actually. My goal was to triple my subscribers that I was at Christmas or New Year's of last year, which was 87. So to hit 1,000 is one for the books for me. And what the next goals are, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure the channel's going to grow by itself, so I'm not going to change too much. I really love all that you come in here and just chat for a little bit or even just watch. It fascinates me that you take the time to spend with me. So there you go, that one's pretty nice. Let's get a little picture of that one. So, yeah. And I'll be back live for sure on Sunday. And by then I hope to know what's going to be needed for an entry, if it's an entry. I don't even think it's an entry, just for showing support here. We're going to reward a few of you. I can't reward everybody like I would like to, but you'll certainly have a chance at it, especially if you're subscribed. So thank you all so much. And hopefully I'm going to find that piece of glass. Can't say a piece of glass can't be a giveaway. It's a getaway. But I really wanted to show the finished piece of glass because it shows how you can use anything around the house to practice with, as long as it's not like your great-grandmother's china. So, here's a nice little polish to that one too. I like this one. Wow, it's a good night, a good year. I mean, really, I gained momentum in the last 3 months. Even though, you know, like you, Steve, I was just putting stuff out, and it seemed like I wasn't gaining any hours and that kind of stuff. And just by being consistent and showing what I enjoyed, not trying to show what other people enjoyed. And I guess with the help of YouTube and its platform, it's brought it to where it is now, which is just, it's so much bigger than I thought. I mean, I know it's still small. I know I'm not going to be making millions of dollars off of it. I don't think people quite understand that you got to have thousands and thousands of views and hours and everything to make it a living. It's just a hobby, and I'm really happy that people can come along for the hobby. Yeah, I think so too, Ryan. And I've done a few different, you know, I do different formats. So those are the 4, plus, oh, the opal's in my pocket before I lose it. Or did I lose it? There it is. So we also got the opal right here. So it doesn't show over this side. Let me if I get close. But yeah, so that's 5, and then we've got the runaway glass somewhere, which I'm gonna go look for right now. But yeah, very happy, successful day. Thank you all so much. You can't know how much I appreciate you, but I do. And the rock community, lapidary community, the jewelers and the resellers, and even just some of you others that have channels. If you don't know Steve's channel, Stephen Pollock's channel, go over to his channel. Be ready for some humor, a little dark humor, but there's some humor in there somewhere. And the Opal guy, check him out. He helps everybody out. And I could name off so many other channels, but you guys have been really supportive too, and I appreciate that. So if you want to hang around, I'm going to go look for that piece of glass. But really, that's the end of the live. And I'm just going to go over there and look for it and see if I can find it. And for some reason, well, let's have a look if we can find it. Because it's already got its polish on it. So anyway, thank you all. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great time. Hope you have fun with your family and friends. I will be back on soon. We will be doing the reward. Probably, I'll at least know what we're going to be doing by Sunday of this weekend. And yeah, thank you all. Love you all. If you want to hang out, I'm going to try and find this piece of glass, but I don't know if I'm going to get that lucky, and you might hear me sighing and hugging. And well, I guess if I put the super light on, mind your eyes. That is the super light. So yeah, that's the end of the live. Thank you. Love you. See you in the next one. Live on Thursdays and Sundays. And I got cookies for dinner. Where the dickens could I have gone? Yeah, I really got stuck in the wheel. I don't see it in the wheel. I am over here. You don't want to see my jeans going under the table. That is crazy. Nope. Ha-ha! Success. It was back there. I just had to go digging. So sometimes things get away. Just, yeah, I can't believe some of you are still there. But so yeah, this is just to show the practice that we could do with anything in the house. And this was the final. This is the final polish, and let's see, because I know I made a few mistakes. Let's see what we got. Polished up really well. I'm just going to get it completely dry. That'll work. I should use some paper towel here. But we'll see little areas that I missed. Need 6 more thumbs up to hit 100 from what I'm seeing. So things I missed up the top here. You can see I didn't finish polish up around here. And but otherwise it's got like this chatoyance to it, almost like an opal, like a broad flash. Really odd. What else did we miss on this? So, pretty good. I mean, you can see the polish is pretty good. You can see the lampshade and the bulb inside right there. See the bubbles down here. And I didn't finish that polish up the top, which is what I missed. And so what it teaches me is I got to be careful on all my regular stones, that I'm not getting impatient and finishing off some of the edges as well as I could. And the rest of it looks really nice. Girdle looks good. The angle on the girdle's good. So yeah, that's a fun little piece. But yeah, just a piece of glass that we found in the thrift store. And no chips in it, no cracks in it. A little bit of abrasion up the top still, but I did pretty well. I would give myself maybe an 88 out of 100. All right, thank you all. Thank you so much. Yeah, it could be a really thick guitar pick. But yeah, love you all. Thank you so much. Have a great time with your families tomorrow. And if you have brothers, just smack them in the back of the head like I do. And yeah, I could have done better on the back here. In fact, just to show exactly what happened. So when it took a flight, it hit the geyser, and on the back side gave a little chip in there. You see that? And that's what happens when you're not focusing. And it happens. It'll come out really easy, but things to think about, things to learn from. All right. Love you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you getting me here. I really do. You have no idea. Thank you so much. Bye now.